A lot of the worst things happening in the world right now are pointing to Israel and pointing to an international Jewish mafia that I call the Judeo-Masonic cult. These people have been around for a very long time, and they've been working at the same things for many centuries. In fact, arguably even millennia, because even ancient Rome had a problem with the same kind of people doing the same kind of thing. So I take all this information that I have and I try to put it together to make sense of the crazy, diabolical, twisted world that we live in today. Because things are so messed up, it's hard for most people to even process. But once you put all the different pieces together, it makes perfect sense. And that is what I try to give you guys, that level of understanding so things make sense. And more importantly, so that we can find out who and what the actual threats are to our civilization as a whole, and then address them. Not addressing the symptoms, but rather fighting the causes. So what are these Sayanim? Well, Sayanim are basically volunteers who are very willing and able to work for Mossad or Israeli intelligence, because there are other components of Israeli intelligence outside Mossad. And they pretty much want to do it just to help out Israel and just to be a good Jew. They have to be 100% Jewish, but they cannot be citizens of Israel. Specifically, a Sayanim has to be a member of the diaspora, which is the dispersed Jewish community around the world. So they have to have intense loyalty to Jews and Judaism in Israel, but they have to be a part of another country, because that's what will give the advantage to the Israeli intelligence agencies who go and use these people as temporary agents for various missions. Some Sayanim work for Israeli intelligence for many, many years. There can be very well-connected, very powerful, very, very high-level Sayanim who are at no point actual employees of Israeli intelligence, and yet they are some of the most powerful Israeli intelligence agents in history. The optimal example for this is Robert Maxwell. Robert Maxwell was a tremendously powerful Israeli agent. He was, of course, the father of Ghislaine Maxwell, who later on became the partner and probably the handler for Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell was a very powerful, very influential British businessman who was also very influential in British and Western culture, which is going to become important later. However, he was at no point in time a Mossad spy. He was a Sayanim. He was someone who very eagerly volunteered his services to Israeli intelligence, but he was not a member of the Israeli government, and he wasn't trained or employed as a spy. Now, very importantly, there are thousands of Sayanim all around the world. A number of these are active at any given time, probably at least hundreds, but there are thousands more who are interviewed and basically ready and willing to work for Israeli intelligence at a moment's notice.